What's up, everybody? It's your boy Emceemur here, and welcome back to another video. And today we're taking a look at a game coming our way from our friends at Retrotainment Games. That's right, publisher of this game and others like it for play on the Nintendo Entertainment System. New games. This is Anguna, Scourge of the Goblin King. And you know, we talked it over. It sounded like this was a good fit, especially for a lot of you that watch the channel that are avid RPG enthusiasts. You know, it's a great thing to know that you can purchase a new game for the NES, you know, right here in present day. That's what's going on here, and I'm really interested to take a look at this with you. But before we even get into the gameplay, we really need to take a look at the presentation that is this lovely, complete in-box setup you get here when you buy one of these things. Let's unpack this thing, come on. Now you know this is how I get down. Complete in-box NES games. There might not be a more recognized and widely appreciated shelf candy in retro gaming. So to be able to buy new NES games with all the fixins here, with what is pretty much considered extras by today's standards, it's just great. I mean, right down to the little foam insert. That's fantastic. Taking a look at the cartridge here at a glance, I mean, the label looks fantastic. It looks really good, authentic. The end label looks really good, great on the shelf, any way you're gonna put this on the shelf. So yeah, and again, it comes in a sleeve. The authenticity's there. We got a full color illustrated manual to go with it, and it looks great too. Just getting a quick look in here at it. I mean, this is how you want to buy an NES game if you're gonna buy an NES game. Now we need to take a look at the game and see if it's as good as this stuff looks. So you can't hate that. I mean, that's just lovely presentation, but is the game good? We got to take a look at that. And I have taken a look at it. I want you to take a look at it with me right now. As I started out on this game, I couldn't help but be excited about the upcoming exploration. And I'm immediately grabbing fried chicken legs off the ground, so that's a very good sign. Hey, if you know, you know. Things I'm looking for in this game are detailed enemies, items, and weapons to help set it apart, and of course, I'm looking for replay value. I mean, we can see Zelda similarities right away, but that's not a bad thing. Rather, it's a good framework to build a great RPG around. The graphics and gameplay of Anguna embody the feel of something very 1987. It's very simplistic, but that ends up being the aesthetic here, for lack of a better word. This reminds me of action RPGs in the early years, of 8-bit home consoles, and of similar games on Commodore 64. They were never overly complicated, but that was because those games predated so many concepts in the genre that would be introduced in years to come. The dungeons in this game aren't huge, but they're fun to explore. They'll have you stabbing walls to find secret rooms. They contain locked gates color matched to keys you'll have to hunt throughout the game, which does force you to backtrack to dungeons later in the game to fully complete them. I like that. The game features a flash save available in any room cleared of enemies, and that's definitely convenient. The enemy list isn't that extensive, but they're pretty much what you expect in a game like this. And from the menu screen while paused, you can view a nicely illustrated bestiary that displays attack and hit point stats, and it expands as you meet new foes. Definitely a nice touch. Dungeon bosses push back fairly hard at first, each with a unique pattern and attack. You level up fairly quickly, which increases your life bar each time. Enemies drop chicken legs to replenish health, arrows to keep your quiver full, and other resupplies of items you'll find as the game progresses. Your attack and defense stats increase as you find sword and shield power-ups both in the dungeons and in the overworld. Again, this game does a good job of recreating those mid to late 80s action RPG feels, which makes me cozy right up to it, but it ironically does so by weighing in somewhat light on certain action RPG elements most of us consider staples in this genre. There are no NPCs or dialogue in this game, which leave it feeling empty at times, and there is no money system in this game, ergo there are no shops to buy gear. These are important elements I feel could have rounded out the experience a little more had they been in here.
The leveling maxes out quickly, and it eliminates any need for grinding as early as halfway through the game. But the game leans in hard on the exploration factor, and I definitely enjoyed that aspect of it. And while there's little replay value outside of just skill improvement and maybe some speedrunning, the game does offer an extra mode called Dungeon Rush, which is essentially a survival mode. You'll delve a new dungeon starting from scratch and attempt to go as deep into it as you can, surviving on random drops and contending with strong enemies and bosses as you progress. Dying at any point starts you over from the beginning without power-ups, so this offers an additional layer of challenge. Anguna looks to be a functional foundation to build on in that it could certainly add depth within sequels and create even deeper lore surrounding the built worlds within the installments. I mean, we all know what Zelda grew into over time, right? And I see that there are versions of Anguna for a 2600 format and a GBA Nintendo DS style installment as well. I'm interested to know what the experience looks like in a 2600 D-Make, as well as what additions, if any, exist in a 16-bit looking version. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This version does look right for the period it's technically throwing back to, and the soundtrack is decent as well, correct for the style, and helping to effectively dial in those vintage feels. Anguna, Scourge of the Goblin King is a new game for your Nintendo Entertainment System, and it is remarkably presented in an authentic feeling physical copy as you've seen here. Designed by Nathan Talbert of Bite the Chili Productions, and available on the site link in the description of this video. Also included will be the link to purchase the game digitally for play on PC. Visit the site for more information on this and other new original NES games.
So there you have it, Anguna, Scourge of the Goblin King. Is it a perfect 10? No. But most NES games weren't. It's just neat that we can purchase something like this in this day and age. I think there's a lot of room to grow here as far as a franchise. I mean, it's got great bones about it. There are some things, as I stated earlier in the review, that I would have liked to have seen happening here that I think we could see in future installments of it. But, you know, at the end of the day, I enjoyed my playthrough of this start to finish. It was fun. And again, there's that feeling you get from back then when you put in a game that looks like it was from back then. But again, this is a new game and you've never played it, so all the exploration is new, and that's what was really doing it for me as far as the fun factor here. So pretty cool. But again, there's links in the description that tell you where you can get a copy of this, either physical or digital. If you want to take a crack at this game, what did you think of this game? What did you think of this review? I want to know what you thought about everything that you saw here today, of course. So leave me something in the comment section of this video, because you know that I love getting a conversation going with you right here on the Emceemur Show, something that we do a lot of. Hope that you like this video, and that you're going to drop a like on this video. Most importantly, if you have not already done so, hope you're going to subscribe to the Emceemur Show and be a part of our nation, because we're rising up all the fantastic things we do right here on the show. You need to be a part of it. Make sure that you smack that notification bell, so you're always the first to know when new content goes live. Content just like this game review right here. You know that I love making them for you, and I love looking at new games. Again, something we do a lot of right here, especially when it comes to role-playing games. That's my genre, man. And again, this was really neat to take a look at. Cool to know that we can buy new physical games for an old platform like the NES. Just really cool. I want to thank our friends at Retrotainment Games for letting us take a look at this game. And yeah, I'd like to see what else they've got coming in the future. Emceemur signing off for this fantabulous episode, and I will see each and every one of you again on the next one.